Hi travellers, and welcome to this week's edition on the best things you can do on the Sunshine Coast. I'm Chris, and with my partner Matt, we've been a local to southeast Queensland for more than 20 years. So in turn, I have the most comprehensive list to share with you today, stretching from Caloundra in the south to Noosa in the north. So let's get started. I don't know of too many hiking trails that are this amazing and so close to the city area. Mount Coolum is an iconic landmark for locals, but also one of the best views for tourists over the Sunshine Coast coastline. It's located just north of the Sunshine Coast Airport near Markoola, and there are only a few parks on the side of the road. This gets really busy first thing in the morning, so either get in there really early or try again later on the day. The track as a whole is easy to walk on, but boy is it a steep one with lots of stairs. It's only 800 metres one way, and it'll take about 1.5 hours to return hike with a moderate level of fitness. If you're like Matt and I, we stopped a few times on the way up to catch our breath, but the views at the top make it all the worth doing. Ensure you have a sturdy pair of closed-in shoes which help keep you stable and protect your feet from cuts and scrapes. Take a bottle of water, and please don't forget your camera to capture that Instagram moment from the top. Most national parks in Queensland you'll find away from the city areas, but the Noosa National Park is located right in the middle of it and only 15-minute walk from Main Beach and Hastings Street. While the park itself has plenty of different walking trails, there is one main coastal walk which I find is a must-do. This is just over 5 kilometres one way and goes past Tea Tree Bay, Dolphin Point, Hell's Gate, Alexandra Bay, Devil's Kitchen, and finally arriving at Sunshine Beach. However, you either return on the same path or use one of the inland tracks to add some variety. There is some elevation here and there, but overall a well-formed track with some stairs and easy for most people with a moderate fitness level, including the kids. It's even wheelchair friendly to Tea Tree Bay. You'll find it a popular spot for the local surfers trying to catch their early morning waves, and I have to admit it's awesome to sit there and watch them for a few minutes before moving along the track. Apart from that, if you want to spot a koala or two, this is a great spot to see them in the wild, as long as you have a keen eye and look up into the trees. The fairy pools are a cute little rock pool swimming spot available in the national park. While I can include it with the coastal walk mentioned before, I wanted to make a special mention since you can use it as its own destination or include it as part of the whole trek. What you might not know is there's actually 2 different areas that are named the fairy pools, which are right beside each other. Although both are affected by the tides, this means neither one is good for swimming on high tide and one will lose too much water on the lowest tide. Catching them somewhere in between is brilliant, and I'll link another video in the description for more detail on that. If you're staying on the Sunshine Coast, then it's likely you'll have a car to get around. If so, driving the Esplanade roads is one of the best ways to explore the Sunshine Coast at your own pace. It stretches for more than 60 kilometres and will take longer than 2 hours to drive. However, you can pick and choose your path, concentrate on particular sections, or stop at your favourite highlights or interests along the way. This could include any number of the famous beaches like Kings Beach, Moffat Beach, Mooloolaba, Alexandra Heads or Noosa, or grabbing a coffee or meal at a local coffee shop, cafe or restaurant with views of the ocean. Don't want to drive the coast? Then you do have the option to walk, run, skate, rollerblade or cycle these same areas. Officially, the coastal track is about 73 kilometres long from Caloundra to Noosa Heads. There are wooden boardwalk areas in places like Caloundra, Mooloolaba and Point Cartwright. You'll often find plenty of locals using it for their morning exercise, plus it's always my go-to activity on holiday to walk for 30 minutes while watching the sunrise. As a photographer, you'll often find me at some of the higher points overlooking some of the beaches and watching the surfers catch their breaks off the headland. Or you might be lucky to see whales breaching in the distance. Need another option for exploring the Esplanade? Well, I've often used the Neuron scooters to get around, or simply explore for the day. These electric scooters can be found around the Mooloolaba Alex Headlands area, and you can download the app for your phone to access. You can hire them to get from A to B on a 50-cent per minute schedule, or purchase daily passes starting at $15. However, the more you ride, the cheaper they get, so a 3-day, 7-day, or even 30-day pass could be economical. Although I have to say that the motorised scooters are blocked from being used on some of the coastal areas. This means they'll stop working and you'll have to get off and walk them if you enter areas with lots of foot traffic. The Noosa Everglades tour leaves from Barreen Point, which is about 40 minutes north of Noosa Heads. You'll check into the Noosa Habitat campgrounds, which is also a cool place to stay if you're into camping. The boat starts out on Lake Kutharabah and then ventures into the calm river system of the Great Sandy National Park, which is where you'll see the wildlife. But did you know that between here and Florida, they are the only two Everglades systems in the world, so it makes it very special indeed. The term Everglade refers to the natural region of tropical wetlands characterized by slow-moving water and a rich diversity of flora and fauna. These ecosystems are unique and complex, supporting a variety of plant species and wildlife. As you navigate this unique ecosystem, you'll witness bird species such as herons, egrets and cormorants, plus the dense vegetation along the waterways contains mangroves, lilies and ferns. But with its mirror-like reflections of the sky and trees in the water, it gives the Everglades its beauty, making it photographer's paradise. The tours run for about 1 hour and comes with a drink or two, and you might even get a chance to drive the boat like me. Alternatively, there are options to kayak yourself along these waters too. The Aqueduct tour takes about 1 hour and starts outside the Sea Life Aquarium at the wharf in Mooloolaba. Since the amphibious vehicle drives on both land and water, I think it's a fantastic way to explore the Sunshine Coast area and pick up some local knowledge. It's a very relaxing ride, and while you need to wear seatbelts on land, you can move freely around the duck while it's on the water. The guide will point out some of the most luxurious houses and give you some prices on what they were last sold for. You'll even get a glimpse of Steve Irwin's boat and hear some of his story. The boat is a popular choice for kids, which makes it very family friendly, and you even get the chance to get behind the wheel. The merchandise they sell is pretty cute, with their captain's hats or the plush toys that make a cute little duck noise. But I just grabbed a couple of stickers to help add to my magnet collection. The whale watching tours are obviously seasonal between June and October each year. There are many different tour boats leaving from the Sunshine Coast, which can leave several times a day. The morning tours are relatively popular, so if you don't like the crowds, pick an afternoon tour or take it on the weekdays or out of school holidays. In the warmer regions, the whales find a safe haven to give birth. These tropical waters are ideal for nursing calves whose blubber has not yet developed the insulation needed to withstand the Antarctic temperatures. During the season, whales can breach up out of the water and slap their fins, but mostly they'll just come cruising along. Although if you come later in the season, there will be plenty of babies around. Since the boats have strict rules on how close you can get, you'll need a long-range zoom lens if you're trying to capture the moment. Otherwise, there is a chance the whales can swim towards the boats and you'll get an exceptional view. You'll find local breweries and distillers all over southeast Queensland, so you won't be in short supply wherever you're staying. We chose to give Your Mate's Brewing Company a try in Warana and were not disappointed. They have a huge setup here with their different selections of beers, wine, cocktails, plus an indoor and rustic seating area. Try one of their blends like Larry, a pale ale, something a bit bolder like Donny, or for a bit of fruit sweetness, there's the Blonde Ale Sally. But we mainly visited for their ginger beer, and Matt certainly loved that drop. Plus they have a nice menu with wings, chips, burgers, or something a bit more substantial with a chicken palmy. You can also book a 1-hour brewery tour if you're interested in learning about the brewing process and tasting different types of beer. A canal cruise is always relaxing and a romantic way to end a day, but you also have the options for lunchtime cruises. While there are a few different companies, our tour started from the wharf in Mooloolaba and lasted about 1 hour. Drinks aren't included, but you could purchase these for an extra charge while soaking up the beauty of this coastal paradise. Our cruise meandered through the same Mooloola River waters as the aqueduct mentioned before. To be honest, I think the duck is probably a little bit more suited to smaller children, but you can certainly bring them along for the experience. In the end, having the added bonus of watching the sunset is amazing, all while you're taking in the local knowledge and information the driver was giving you. Mini golf is always family-friendly entertainment, while also a quick activity for the big kids like Matt and I. Holy Moly is available in Maroochydore, right in the Big Top shopping centre. This themed mini golf course features 27 fun and quirky holes, including ones inspired by popular TV shows and movies. If anything, Matt and I got a big kick out of simulating the start of the Simpsons TV introduction. I found some a little frustrating when I couldn't get the right angle, but this only makes it all the more challenging. But the centre also has arcade games, escape rooms and some snack treats to keep you going throughout the day. Moffat Beach offers a charming blend of natural beauty and local culture. Its picturesque shores are perfect for photographers, and I just loved getting the drone up for the aerial views. It's renowned for its excellent surfing conditions, attracting surfers to ride its powerful waves. Beyond the surf, Moffat Beach boasts a laid-back vibe with its variety of cafes and eateries. Drop into the espresso bar for that coffee fix, or sit for a meal at the brewing company, or grab a seafood takeaway at the Fish Shack. For all those looking to explore beyond the beach, the nearby Headland Walk provides a scenic trail with panoramic views, which brings me to my next option. Lookout points are available all over the Sunshine Coast, but for me, nothing really beats the Moffat Beach Lookout. This is part of the coastal walk mentioned before, but you'll find plenty of people just completing this section to get an overall look at the beach. It also makes for a brilliant Instagram picture moment, and I can watch the surfers here in the distance for ages. If anything, it gets you out of the house for a short time in the great outdoors while getting some exercise. Even the sunsets dropping back behind the beach will be a special moment to share with your partner. Kings Beach showcases an array of attractions and activities. The beach itself is lifeguarded with golden sands, and you'll often see people sunbathing or hanging out. The gentle surf is great for swimming and boogie boarding, and you could even try some beginner surfing if that takes your fancy. If you don't want to swim in the ocean, then you could try the ocean pool. It was closed for cleaning during our visit and looks a little small for the number of people that visit, but it has a walk-in entry and the chairs to laze around on. Heading back up to the northern areas, you have the ever-popular Noosa Heads area with the main Hastings Street. If you're in the mood for some retail therapy, this bustling street is lined with boutique shops, designer clothing, cafes, souvenirs, and restaurants. They also have a few accommodations here which are very convenient but come with a higher price tag to match if you can afford it. The one thing I found is that it's really busy with pedestrian traffic, and I found it really hard to park the car, which could be a bit overwhelming for some. Makes it even harder when you're trying to drive through. But despite that, it makes for a great spot to sit down at a cafe and people watch the day away, indulging in delicious local cuisine while enjoying the beachside ambience. The reason Hastings Street is so popular is that Noosa Main Beach is straight across the road and easy to walk back and forth from the beach, especially if you're staying there. The Noosa Headlands are renowned for its pristine beauty, and it's one of the very few beaches along Australia's east coast that faces north. This provides gentle waves for both beginners and casual swimmers, but further out towards the headland is where you'll find the surfers mentioned before. The beach is patrolled by lifeguards all year round, and they even have a pathway to get into the water for those with accessibility issues. They also have an ocean view boardwalk to start walking into the Noosa National Park. Can you believe after 20 years in southeast Queensland, it's taken me this long to get to Point Cartwright Lighthouse? It's a notable landmark and replaced the smaller one located near Caloundra in 1978. Over the years, Point Cartwright Lighthouse has not only served as a beacon for sailors, but also evolved into a cherished local attraction with walking trails and even lookout points. But for me, I think it's the water tower art that really shines, depicting scenes of the local beaches, hinterland and wildlife. Honestly, it's a perfect fit for the Sunshine Coast area. Start your visit with a small 200-metre walk to the lighthouse or a leisurely stroll around the headland. Bring a picnic, take in some bird watching or catch a glimpse of the dolphins or whales in the water. Photography buffs will find plenty of opportunities to capture stunning landscapes, especially at sunrise or sunset, with colours painting the sky. Now, if you're ever looking for an isolated beach on the Sunshine Coast, then right next to the lighthouse is Kawana Beach. You can stroll along the coastal boardwalk or take one of the several entryways onto the beach. It was practically empty and much easier to find a park, so it's an ideal spot for those seeking peaceful solitude. The expansive stretch of golden sands is perfect for relaxing strolls, beachcombing, or simply relaxing under the sun with a good book. Otherwise, the clear waters are inviting for an invigorating swim, offering a refreshing retreat from the heat. Apart from being the starting point for many tours and things to do on the Sunshine Coast, the wharf of Mooloolaba stands out as a vibrant hub of activity. It's located right on the canal and open-air waterfront dining is a highlight, where you can relish local food while enjoying the serene views. This includes an ice cream shop, coffee, Italian, freshly made breads, and don't forget the fudge and lolly store. If anything, organise a lunch date before or after any of the activities that leave from here. Can't get yourself under the water? Then the Sea Life Aquarium will help you explore it. The whole facility is an interactive and educational experience and often a big hit with the kids. It's located in the wharf area of Mooloolaba and not that far from the beach. There are two main areas you shouldn't miss. The first is the Seal Show, which typically runs for about 30 minutes and showcases the incredible skills and personalities of the seals. You'll be entertained by their playful antics as they demonstrate a variety of tricks, from balancing balls to synchronized swimming routines, all while listening to the commentary from the guide. The second area would be walking through the Ocean Tunnel, which immerses you in the underwater environment. Watch as stingrays glide effortlessly through the water and sharks cruise by with a confident presence. Funny that Matt and I even dived in this tank a while ago to see all that right beside us. Apart from that, we really love the jellyfish and I could have sat there watching them for ages. Close by is Mooloolaba Beach, which is a stunning stretch of coastline renowned for its long golden sands. It stretches for about 2 kilometres and perfect for families and individuals who indulge in various water activities to simply unwind on the beach. The gentle waves make it an ideal place for swimming, paddling and beginner surfing. In addition to the water activities, the beachfront promenade offers walking paths, picnic spots and a variety of eateries and shops, making it a lively destination for holidaymakers. We love the beach bar and grill, but you'll also find plenty of coffee shops as well as Italian, Thai, crepes, noodles and Vietnamese, just to name a few. If anything, you can walk more of the coastal path here to start off your day. The Queensland Air Museum has a treasure trove of displays and, surprisingly, the largest collection of aviation history in Australia. The museum has impressive civilian and military aircraft, including warbirds, airliners, helicopters, and even space exhibits. If I could offer any advice, then please grab one of the volunteer guides as you walk in the door. Their guidance and information is irreplaceable, and there is no way you can find everything out on your own. They can even unlock some of the aircraft so you can even take a peek inside. In this open-air museum, you can learn the specific historical background and technical aspects of the aircraft. Some of the highlights include the Aardvark, the DC-3 Dakota and the Mirage 3 fighter jet. You can even get inside the cockpit simulator for an extra charge. Beyond the aircraft, the museum offers engaging displays that dive into aviation history, technology, and the roles these planes played in various military and civilian contexts. Both Matt and I are dive masters, and we've spent many weekends exploring the HMAS Brisbane Wreck dive site. This former warship was sunk off the coast of Mooloolaba in 2005 and has now become an artificial reef for divers to explore. In a few short years, there's been plenty of growth surrounding the ship and the underwater life that comes with it. As you descend, you'll find schools of yellowtail kingfish and trevally, a few resident lionfish, and plenty of well-camouflaged stonefish lurking among the coral growth. You can even find splashes of colour with parrotfish and the ever-cute nudibranchs with their intricate patterns. We always found it easy to navigate around the ship, and while tours are weather dependent, they will leave almost every day. Next up, we have another little hiking adventure, and it's good to know that something like this is available so close to the city areas. The Buderim Forest is a 45-hectare reserve and waterfall located in Buderim, just inland from Mooloolaba. There is 2 different entries on Harry's Lane or Quorn Close, and I'll link another video in the description for more detail. The obvious highlight is the shallow waterfall, which is very dependent on the recent rainfall. It's fed by the nearby stormwater drains, so I don't think it makes for the ideal spot for swimming, but it certainly doesn't stop people taking a dip, and it can be very popular in the summertime. Photographers love this location for the constant shaded area and low light. I must admit, you can create some pretty effective slow shutter photos with the moving water. Apart from that, locals use the hike for their daily exercise, plus knowing it's less than 1 kilometre from each entry, it shouldn't take that long to complete. We've stayed at Maroochydore Beach several times over the years. The beach itself is a long, wide stretch of pristine sand for any of your favourite beach-going activities. Any of the main esplanade accommodation between here and Alex Hez has a short walk across the road to the water's edge, and even the Cotton Tree Holiday Park is popular for campers. While I don't see one main section for food and dining, you can walk the blocks and see plenty to eat around your hotel. We found popular brands like Nando's, Hungry Jack's and Zaraffa's, big places like the Alex and Marucci surf clubs, and we had a lovely breakfast at the local Cafe Venice. If anything, you can drag yourself out of bed early in the morning to watch the sunrise over the ocean or stroll along the water's edge. Sunshine Plaza is the largest shopping centre on the Sunshine Coast. It's your go-to spot for retail therapy and located in the heart of Maroochydore. Beyond shopping, it contains a state-of-the-art cinema complex, and you can even hire little boats to explore the surrounding waterways. For those adventurous souls, you have the High Ropes Challenge, which is an athletic course that tests both your physical abilities and mental resilience. Participants navigate through a series of suspended obstacles, including swinging bridges, balance beams, zip lines, all set against the waterway backdrop. The Caloundra Central Business District might only be a few blocks, but it offers a diverse range of shopping and entertainment options. Whether you're in the mood for a quick coffee break, burger, Thai food, Subway, bar and grill, there's even local markets with crafts and food trucks. The area includes a selection of surf shops, charming boutiques, fashion and homeware items, and all the gear needed for water activities. What I found really interesting was Caloundra's version of the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The trail on Bullcock Street honours iconic musicians and entertainers who are pioneers of their industry. This includes the Bee Gees, Savage Garden, Shirley Strawn, Bon Scott, John English, and even the beloved Jamie Dunn, who was the puppeteer of Agro. Stroll down further towards the water and you'll find yourself at Bullcock Beach. A convenient boardwalk lines the water's edge, which meanders around the headland and goes all the way to Kings Beach. Obviously, this is part of the coastal walk I've mentioned before. In the distance, you can even see the tip of Bribie Island, people swimming in the calm water and the surf sides, and I see the jet ski tours leaving from here also. This is perfect for families who are after low-key swimming or active kayakers or paddleboarders. Plus, it's a nice little park for your picnic, lunch or barbecues, or take a seat at the local cafes and restaurants across the road while taking in the fresh sea air. On the downside, I've always found the car parking really sporadic around here, so you might have to find one a block or two away. I contemplated adding Sunshine Castle to the list, but I think it's very cool to see near Bli Bli. I remember going up to the watchtowers years ago, but unfortunately access to this was closed on my recent visit, but hopefully they'll open back up soon. This means if you're looking to browse through their storytelling doll collection or buying some toys, it might still be worth it. Otherwise, I hope they open up the top section again soon. So after everything I've mentioned today, what else are you supposed to do? Well, you can always click here to find out the best day trips from the Sunshine Coast and get yourself further out of the coastal areas. Apart from that, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you for the next one.